One word I would describe Japan is comfort. Comfort because like in a place like this, it really helped me feel, like I'm part of the place, especially in my neighborhood. And every time I'm here, I feel like, nothing too bad will go wrong, hopefully. But ever since I've been here, it doesn't feel like I've been, like I'm in danger. It's very serene, peaceful, and very, very comforting. The place here just gives off a vibe where it's very homey, like you could just look outside your window. It's a very beautiful sky. The sound of people on their bikes, people walking on the street talking. It feels like a community. It's very nice to be here.
Matsudo is a city located in the Chiba Prefecture of Japan. Matsudo City first came into being in 1943 as a merger between the towns of Matsudo, Takagi Village, and Mabashi Village to form the 17th city in the Chiba Prefecture. It has a reputation as Tokyo's eastern neighbor for retro charm. It boasts numerous beautiful temples, shrines, and other landmarks that are sure to captivate you. One of Matsudo's well-known sites is the Matsudo Jinja Shrine, which is the biggest Shinto shrine in the city. This shrine consists of mink shrines that are dedicated to different nature deities. However, it is not just the sites people should look out for, but also the city's wide array of festivities and events that are sure to keep you entertained while staying in Matsudo. This is Hometown Vlogs. Sit tight and get ready as we tour you around the picturesque city of Matsudo, Japan.
Matsudo. I don't really know too many facts, rather than it was something about like car manufacturing that I forgot about. But about Matsudo, it's like a suburban province. A lot of people have their own farms. Like even my neighbors have a farm in their backyard. It's not your usual city type Japanese town. It's a very mix of both. Local supermarkets and a lot of stores here support these local farmers by featuring their collections and crops on supermarkets. It's very much like main city Tokyo, but in the area that I'm in, it's kind of like farm like, more provincial. Yeah. The serene feeling of being here at night. It's absolutely amazing how quiet it can be. It's very deafening. Sometimes if I play games and I have the uncontrollable burst of maybe shouting in a game or something, I bet the whole neighborhood can hear me. It's very nice here. Every morning I live next to a high school. You could hear the students just walk by my house. It's very nice. You could hear the birds chirping, and when you go to the local park, you just see students playing baseball. It's very nice, very peaceful. The community is absolutely lovely. There's a number of elderly people who walk around and just greet people, which I think is very cute and very nice. It's very peaceful. You can tell by the people that it's just, they just like being here. The reason we moved here, it's because of my two grandparents. My mom looks over them. Like, we help them around the house because of their old age already. Luckily enough, my dad also works here in Japan, so that means that gives us a dependent visa. So we are allowed to go in and back from Japan as long as my dad works. And so because of that, we had the proper opportunity to live here longer and also like travel here even during the pandemic, like back last year. I've been staying in Japan for about almost a year now. We arrived here, I think, last year, September, when it was closing the winter already. So yeah, we've almost been staying here for almost 1 year. So we just go here now because our house is here, and it's not really the main city. It's far from that. It's very provincial, very farmy, but it's a very nice place. I really like it. It's not too loud and crazy like Tokyo. It's just very, very simple town. It's a very simple town. I'm at the main station with my grandfather. Ji-chan. Hello. Ji-chan だよ。かっこいいやね。かっこいい。And we're just waiting for the next train for me to board. Bye bye, Ji-chan. Bye bye. Bye bye, Ji-chan. Bye bye. Okay, so I am what they call on a express train. So this train will skip some stations for farther travel, and I am currently using what they call a green sha or green car. So basically, I get a private chair, this private area part of the train, and I'm allowed to sit here until I reach my location. So I'll film when I get there. See you guys. I am in the harbor in Hamamatsu. I finally made it, and we're just waiting for our boat. Okay, they told us we arrived in Oshima, and we're going to get off. Hi, Mom.
Hi, good morning.
And I will vlog our trip to my dad's house, so I'll see you guys later. Bye. So we finally arrived at our house here in Oshima, and I started going here from 8 p.m. So it was overall an 8-hour trip, and we only got maybe like 4 hours of sleep. So maybe after we're done packing or settling in, we're gonna take a nap and rest up for our second dose vaccination this afternoon. But for the meantime, I will be showing you around our house and the things around it. So have some B-roll. This is my dad's garden at the front. We grow some vegetables like tomato and kangkong. There's only a few of it now because my mom harvested some for lunch. She's currently cooking some pork and sinigang.
Nasa miso with kangkong.
Ooh. Yeah. And here's the kangkong. And the sinigang's from the fishes that my dad caught. in the pier. Yeah, my mom just loves cooking Filipino food every time we're here because it feels like we're at home. Hello.
Hi.
It is 1 o'clock and we are going to use the car so we can go to the main town of Oshima, Motomachi, so we can get our second dose vaccination. Yeah. Did you bring all of the documents?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. Nai desu yo, okasa. I got pricked. Hello. We're finally home, fully vaccinated. Wala pa si Papa and Shimako is outside. Oy, Shimako! Currently, I wish I could get a job, but I don't. Right now, I'm just fulfilling my duties as a college student and helping around the house with my two grandparents. So that really keeps me busy, and with also a lot of the requirements that come from being a college student. And one thing I just do for fun as a creative output, since I don't really go outside anymore, is I stream games sometimes online, and I find it like a bit free, so I can just like do whatever I can to make that one a bit more spazzazzled, I would say. Like more of me, like something that I want to do. Yeah. I learned to be in the moment. Taking photos and videos, yes, you could preserve like what you see, but what you feel in that moment is only for that moment. Every time I take a photo, I remember what I felt in those moments, what I smelled, what I feel on my boots, like the rocky granite on the floor, or like the smell of the spring flowers hitting my nose. That really helps me find inspiration to find good photos, because it really gives me a clear picture, not just a visual one, an overall picture of what I was doing during that moment. Hi. It's the second day of me being here, and I'm starting to feel the side effects of the vaccine, but I just spent the whole day resting today, and I found out that I had a test that I just found about like 2 hours ago, so I'm currently studying for it. And it's times like these where like I find it difficult to keep up when it comes to like school stuff, because there's like so much things going on, but you know, still gotta keep the grades going. I'm not gonna go anywhere without these grades, so so I'm gonna do that. Maybe for dinner I'm gonna cook the sisig that I promised. I was supposed to cook it for lunch, but I wasn't feeling too great, so I just slept. So yeah. I would recommend people who go to Matsudo to just maybe some of the nice restaurants here, and also the local scenery. There's a couple of places that conserve the old Japanese houses. It's very beautiful. There's not a lot of places that do that, and I think experiencing old Japanese architecture is very beautiful. Like, you know, traditional stuff. and just enjoy the scenery of the town. Honestly, there's not a lot of things, but it's a nice place to look at, just be around. Yeah. When I first arrived in Japan, it was very different than what I was used to. When I went to Japan as a child growing up, I usually just stay here 1 month or two. It's never extending to like long-term living. Now that I had to live here for the longest time, did not feel the same like I was back when I was a kid. Having to actually like manage things, fix stuff up in the house, and just do groceries like every day. I never got to do that because like most of the time when I was here in Japan, I was just, going to Disneyland or something. It's nothing like, no responsibility. It's just for fun. But now I have to be responsible and like clean around the house, just help around and stuff. When I grew up, I spoke mostly English. I think you can tell. I've been growing up mostly in private schools that do an English only policy. So my Filipino is a bit weak. I could fully understand Filipino, but I choose not to speak it because it doesn't really convey like what I really want to say. And in growing up in grade school to high school, I was put in one school. It was Colegio San Agustin. They mostly did lectures in English, which also solidified me being more comfortable in the English language than in Tagalog. We had Filipino classes, but I was really bad at it. And I had to take like summer classes all the time. And my family, both of my parents are Filipino. So I grew up in a very Filipino environment mixed with my Japanese grandparents, but sort of Western-ish because of my school. So it was like a mix of everything. It was kind of confusing to which part like I should identify, like which group, Filipino, Japanese, or the Western-ish group that I am in my schools. But I felt like, oh, this is me. I don't think anyone has the same experience all throughout, so I'll just accept who I am, that I am just a mix of whatever cultures that they've put in my mix of a human being. The difference between Japanese and Philippine culture I noticed the most is that everyone just minds their own business. Like, Japanese people are very kept to themselves. They don't really, they don't talk too loud either. They don't want to cause any public disturbance. Well, some parts of the Philippines that I find, difficult there as an English speaker. But one thing that I do appreciate is when, someone just walks up to you and starts a conversation. That's what I miss. Anyone in the Philippines, even like when I'm in a jeepney or the MRT, someone would just walk up to me and like, "Oh, estudyante ka," or something like that. Those are like the small moments that made me, that was fun when just walking around in Japan. It's hard to make friends here. It's because everyone doesn't really want to bother you, or they're not very outgoing. They're very kept to their own friends and stuff like that. But I'm lucky enough to actually have met some people who are open to talk to a foreigner like me. So yeah, that's been very nice. Being in a foreign country, it's easier for me to adjust because I've been here like many times. But it feels a little less like home, but it does feel like home. Like my family's here, the people I care about are here, but I guess it's the friends that made it kind of difficult. Like all of my friends are in the Philippines. I don't get to see them every day anymore like I used to. They're just reduced to maybe a voice in a Discord call or a video, like a face of their video, and it's never just them anymore. So that was the hardest part when it came to like moving here. So I've made some friends in my local Japanese classes. There's a lot of foreign nationals here in Japan, especially in my area. There's like a weirdly bigger number of foreigners in my place than most of Japan, like provincial Japan. But just have a couple of friends. I do talk to them occasionally. We do go out when it's safe, and I've met some friends also online, like playing games and stuff. They noticed that my accent's weird, and they're like, "Oh, you're not Japanese," and so yeah, we just talk. My neighbors have known me since I was a kid, so they've been very welcoming. The other locals that aren't too familiar with me being here like all the time, they've been very nice, very accommodating. When I've been asking for help in the town hall, some of them are the nicest people I've met. Very patient, very, accommodating for a foreigner that doesn't really speak that much Japanese. But they've been very helpful. And yeah, they kind of understand what kind of situation I'm in. So everyone's been very nice to me. Actually, my local area is a bit more accepting, like that there's foreigners here in Japan because of the big community here. They do have events also, cultural exchanges. A lot of people are very open to like meeting people outside of the country, sharing cultures. There have been Korean events, there have been Filipino events, there have been like Latino American events here. Very nice. They're very open. I can't say the same for other places in Japan because I'm not so sure, but our local town hall and area have been very nice to the foreign community here. To be able to settle in, I know I was gonna be in my room for like the longest time because of being a college student and everything being online. What I did was basically I let my room feel like my room because the room I'm currently using used to be a stock room. We just put random stuff that we don't use anymore, but right now I've been adding stuff to my desk, really cleaning up my stuff, putting my clothes, on the place where they're supposed to be, just to make it feel a bit like mine. Makes me a bit more comfortable. I would say for me to fully adjust, it took me about, I'd say, like half a year, like 6 months. I took local language classes, which really helped. I started involving myself in the community here in Matsudo since there's a lot of foreigners here as well. So they have events in the town hall for foreigners to be more involved in the Japanese community here. And they've also given free language classes. Not free, but then like there's a small fee, only a small fee for like half a year of Japanese classes, which really helped me make friends outside of my home, meet new people, and have just a tiny bit of social interaction in a place where I'm mostly just in my room, which really helped me feel more at home here in Matsudo. What I would bring back from Matsudo to the Philippines, probably the weather. I'm just kidding. I would bring back my grandparents because I miss them every day. I wouldn't want to worry about them too much, and I really want to take care of them. So if ever the chance I go back to the Philippines, I want to bring them with me, just so I could take care of them. First thing I would do when I go back to the Philippines, honestly, I just want to meet my friends. I'll set a time, maybe a place to eat. I really miss like having people in front of me and just, talk about life. I mean, yeah, I could do that on maybe Messenger or Discord, but it's just different when you actually see the person in front of you. That's kind of like what I missed most during the pandemic. It's just the people that I talk to mostly are not there in front of me anymore. And the people that I meet in college, like I don't get to see them anymore, so I never really got to talk to them as much. So yeah, I'll find a time and probably things to do if ever I go back to the Philippines. The Philippines is a lot of things. It's never just the one thing for me. because there's so much going on in that place. I feel like one word wouldn't do it justice. Maybe I could just call it my real home. I mean, I know that's yours, but like my real home, a place where I actually really grew up in and I feel comfortable being in.
Japan is adored for a civilized, developed country, but also for its serenity. We've seen Japanese movies, anime, and films that really take us into another world. But for most people, like Hendrick, it's their hometown, their fortress of solitude and peace. This is Japan, brought to you by Hometown Vlogs. Only here on UST Tiger TV.